What's going on, everybody? You're tuned into the North Shore 9 podcast presented by FanDuel. I'm Jim, and joining us today is Jose Negron from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Jose, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me on. Always love seeing your smiling faces.
Always. Yeah, it's day 3 here at the winter meetings. First 2 days have been somewhat eventful. At least the Pirates. We've been talking about how like a lot of times when we're here, it's just so slow, and this year just seems so different. Just the Pirates are involved in a lot of talks. Their names being floated out around a lot of people, and yeah, stuff's happening.
Yeah, in terms of executing deals, you have the Gregory Soto signing last night, but it does seem like there's a lot of groundwork being done, and I think that's something that you have to realize about the winter meetings is you're not going to see a ton of action. You'll see some significant moves. I mean, we saw Kyle Schwarber go back to Philadelphia. We saw Edwin Diaz get signed by the Dodgers. But, I think a lot of the groundwork and the conversations start here at the winter meetings, and then things kind of pick up afterwards. We've seen, deals happen in December. We've seen them happen in January. I think it'd be advantageous for the Pirates to do things as quickly as possible rather than just kind of wait around and see how things kind of go. But yeah, it's been very eventful over these last couple of days.
Yeah. So again, Jose's on to answer all your questions. So if you've got a question for Jose, whatever related, it can be Pirates related, it can be non-Pirates related. Jose's gonna answer them. So yeah, let's get to question number 1. All right. So first question is from Finn D. Jose, do you think this is the year the Pirates will have a multi-year contract finalized for the first time in a while?
I do. I think it'll happen. Obviously they offered Kyle Schwarber 4 years, $125 million, and I think that's an indication of what they want to do in terms of signing a player to a multi-year deal. Maybe not a top tier player. I think it'd be smart to maybe offer that to a Pete Alonso or a Cody Bellinger.
We've been talking Bellinger.
Yeah,
I think the two of us were leading the Bellinger train.
We have been leading the Bellinger train, a left-handed bat who I think his power would suit PNC Park pretty well. But yeah, but even if they want to, expand their resources and try to lengthen out the lineup, get a couple of different bats with what they have, I think it's possible that we could see a multi-year deal this year.
All right. Next question is from Brian. He says that DK has said he would like to add 1 or 2 more coaches to the staff. Has there been any whispers as to what role they would fill? And do you think that any of them would be on the hitting side?
Yeah, not a ton of whispers in terms of who they would bring in on the coaching staff. I mean, I know that there are guys on the coaching staff that maybe could see enhanced roles. I mean, you look at a guy like Chris Truby who could maybe step into a role of infield coach or whatever you want him to kind of do, but nothing in regards to kind of like the external options of who Don Kelly would want to add. I mean, he's already added 2 pretty solid additions with Christopher Negron and being able to get Tony Beasley as well. Heard nothing but incredible things about the 2 of them. In particular this week, just being able to talk to people about, what they're like and what they'll bring to the table. And then obviously Bill Murphy as well coming in as pitching coach.
Any relation to Christopher?
Not that I know of, but I got to check the family tree because it might be a nice reunion.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Never know. All right. Next question is from Ethan Fisher. Pirates still in the bullpen market even after Soto. Santana absolutely should not be guaranteed the closer role. So yeah, are you hearing any other bullpen rumblings?
Yeah, I mean, I think they want to be open to adding to the bullpen. I think Soto just fits what they wanted, right? Like they wanted someone who is good left on left. They wanted somebody who can attack left-handed hitters, and he's good at that. He has good stuff. He's a guy who has pitched in those high leverage innings. I think the biggest thing is like he's reliable. Like he's going to go give you 60 plus appearances. That's what he's done each of the last 4 seasons. So I think he's a guy who can pitch in leverage. Dennis Santana I'd say he was solid as a closer last year. He wasn't, I don't want to say he was as good as David Bednar was early in the season for the Pirates, but he was an okay closer. I agree there that I don't think it should be a predetermined thing that he is the closer. I think there is going to be a competition. The last couple of years probably wasn't the case because they wanted to give David Bednar that opportunity. But yeah, I'd make it a pretty intense competition, not just with Santana, Gregory Soto. Maybe Isaac Matson's in the mix. Maybe a Justin Lawrence is in the mix. There are guys within that bullpen that could be given opportunities. I don't think you you completely put it off the table that other relievers aren't
Mhm.
available to you. But I think right now you get Soto. That's obviously a need, but now you got to focus on offense.
Yep. All right. Next question is from Andrew. Do you think trading Keller or Burrows, or even if they end up trading like Chandler or Jones, hurts them more than it helps? It would thin out their pitching rotation, which they have had injuries.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because you trade Oviedo, and obviously that takes away from your depth. And then I think the avenue now, and I was kind of a big proponent of the Keller trade before the Oviedo trade because I thought that was a good way of getting a controllable bat, from a team like Boston who was looking for one. Obviously, they make that trade instead, but I really thought that a Keller trade made sense more so before that Oviedo trade.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of hard to trade a guy like Keller, especially with the innings he's going to give you as a number 2. Maybe more so Burrows. Like Burrows kind of would make a little more sense to me, more so than any of the other guys. I don't know if you really want to give up Bubba Chandler or Jared Jones unless, like, Ben Sherrington has said it. Like we need a pretty big. There's going to be a big asking price on all these pitchers based on the fact that they want to keep their depth intact.
Yeah, I think if you move to the Chandler Jones territory too, you're talking about a much more impactful bat as well.
100%. It's not going to be an unproven player. It's going to be a proven bat going straight in your lineup.
Yep. All right. Next is from Nick. Should the Penguins trade for Quinn Hughes?
I'm getting Penguins questions now. My goodness. Yeah, I mean, I've been covering some Penguin games, so I'm trying to. The Pirates aren't the only ones who value versatility. Okay. I'm just as versatile.
You're also just as versatile. You're
these Pirates players.
The Jared Triolo of maybe Jorge Polanco.
Jorge Polanco. I'll take it. And
you can hit a little bit.
Yeah, I can hit a little bit. So I mean, Quinn Hughes. I mean, the Penguins are in a very different situation because it's like, okay, they're taking steps forward, but then it's like, all right, are they going to be for real? Like, is this a team that is going to should trade for some top tier talent, or should they, keep their young assets? Should they rely on draft picks? So that one's a hard one. I don't really know what they are going to do moving forward because I think they're just they're just kind of stuck in the middle. Like, are they a team that's going to be competing? Are they a team that's going to continue what was expected to be a rebuild? So that's a little bit of a tough one. I think the Pirates have some much obvious answers rather than the Penguins.
All right. This one's from producer 3608. Do you think that any significant free agent would even sign with the Pirates?
I mean, if the deal's there, if the deal's right, like if the Pirates are willing, I mean, it's hard because I do think that when it comes to those top tier free agents, the Pirates might have to overpay in order to get one of them, in order to persuade them. Because I mean, you look at a guy like Kyle Schwarber. I think it was very clear that he wanted to be in Philadelphia.
Right.
Like he wants to have an opportunity to win in Philadelphia. The way that season ended for them this year, I mean, he's probably thinking about that a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't want that to be the way that, his career in a Phillies uniform ends. So I think it would take a lot of selling on the part of some of those bigger free agents. But if you look at some of the other guys that they've been linked to, I mean, I've heard a lot about Jorge Polanco and Ryan O'Hearn this week. Maybe the sales pitch isn't as intense. And I know Polanco wants to go back to Seattle, but maybe you don't have to get into that as much, and maybe you're able to persuade him to come here for 3-4 years, have that multi-year deal, and maybe even a Eugenio Suarez. Haven't really heard his name much linked to the Pirates, but he does make a lot of sense to me. A guy who can provide some power. Probably a 2-year deal that you're looking for him. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's possible to get some capable free agents who you can acquire. Like I said, if you get 2-3 bats to lengthen the lineup, I think you can get a couple that will be willing to come to Pittsburgh. Paul Skeens is here, guys. Come on.
Right. If you play for the Pirates, you don't have to face Paul Skeens.
Exactly.
Either.
That's a plus.
All right. This one's from Nothing But the Ends. What is the minimum that we should accept to see this offseason as an actual turning point? So far, it's not enough, obviously, but I also thought a huge free agent was out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they've shown is that it's tough, right? Because you seeing is believing, right?
Mhm.
Like they have a lot to prove in order for you to trust that they're serious about this. And so far their intentions have been there, like being able to offer Kyle Schwarber a deal like that. Like obviously they didn't get the job done, and in the end it doesn't matter. But now they have to show, okay, we were willing to do that. Now we have to be willing to go and get other guys that are going to make as much of an impact. So I think there's the expectations are really high right now. So there is a chance of a letdown, because again, like this is a team that at times has said that they wanted to do these things and they haven't performed. So talked a lot about execution. I think I mentioned to Ben Cherington like 4 times like the word execute. So
Yeah.
and it seems like they're direct in having confidence that they can execute on some deals, and that's why they have so many their hats in the ring for so many different guys. So expectations are high. So I would understand follow through. I would understand the disappointment and the frustration.
I know I would be.
Yeah, I think anybody should.
Absolutely.
It's completely warranted. And, I think at this moment, like so much can play out. Like I'm always kind of like the type of person who I just want to see how it plays out. Like right now I can give them the benefit of the doubt because they are showing that they're willing to do it. But if they don't execute, then everybody has the right to be disappointed.
Yeah, because then it doesn't matter at that point. So, all right, next question is from JGENN7. Are the Pirates making it known that they're willing to move prospects for MLB bats? For example, I wouldn't want to trade a significant piece for 1 year of Brandon Lau if it means trading a controlled starting pitcher.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think when it comes to Brandon Lau, I mean, again, you're getting 1 year of him. I think he's due $11.5 million for 2026, and then he's going to be a free agent in 2027, coming off a 31 home run season. So it's like his value is high, but I wouldn't be willing to really give up anything of like significant value on the major league team. At best, maybe a Mike Burrows. I mean, I don't know if that even really kind of is worth it for 1 year of Brandon Lau. But yeah, if you can make a deal happen with mixing into your prospect rankings, I think it's worth it, because you add that on top of some of the signings that you can make, and again, that lengthens your lineup, that makes it a lot better. It would obviously put kind of the question mark on what do you do with Nick Gonzalez, but I think you just figure that out after. Like right now, the priority is you got to get productive bats in here that are going to make a difference, because this is the lineup as it is just absolutely not enough.
Yeah. Get bats and figure it out.
Yes.
All right. Producer 3608. Do you think that any we already got this one, Donardo. Maybe you clicked on the wrong one. All right. What do we have to give up for Ketel Marte? This is from Dippy Golfs.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to be willing to dig deep for that one. I think you might say like, all right, anything but Connor Griffin and Bubba, but maybe you have to put Bubba in there. Like this is a guy who I personally think that he is probably the most underrated player in baseball, like underappreciated. Like he's always like at the top of the at the league in home runs, in batting average. I think he's a 281 career hitter. Like he's just the type of guy that you put in the middle of your lineup and he instills some fear. And I think that's what the Pirates are missing. Like you look at the lineup and it's just like there's nothing there that allows me to think, okay, this is a day where my pitching staff is threatened. Like if you slide Ketel Marte into the middle of that, it changes things. And I think it provides some protection for some of the other guys as well. So, I think he'd be a great addition, but they'd have to give up a good bit, I think. Dig deep into that prospect pool, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking like Seth Hernandez or Braxton Ashcraft at least would have to be involved in something like that.
And I don't know if you want to trade a guy like Ashcraft.
Yep.
But Seth Hernandez would definitely have to be in that deal, I think.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Do you see a Termarr Johnson or a Hunter Barco going in a trade for a hitter?
That's interesting. I mean, potentially. I'm kind of surprised that Barco hasn't been involved in as many trade talks. Like a lot of the discussion, it seems like, has been regarding like Burrows' name has been out there, and you know, I think Chandler Jones, like there has been a lot of conversation regarding the young pitching, but I haven't heard Hunter Barco at all. So, I mean, I think that's a possibility, because I mean, a left-handed arm, but I think the Pirates also value the fact that he's a young left-handed arm who, you know, small sample last year, but showed some signs in the bullpen late in the year when he pitched. I think he only made 2 appearances, I want to say.
Yeah.
Cincinnati and Atlanta.
2, I want to say. Yeah, that sounds
series.
right. That sounds right.
So yeah, I mean, a lot for him to still prove, but you know, he's, I think, a guy who could potentially be on the table, and if not, maybe even be in the running to snag a rotation spot out of spring training. So Termarr, I mean, Termarr is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like, is he gonna meet that potential once he gets up to, you know, the higher levels? We'll see, but maybe get some interest from other teams.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do one more question, then we'll let Jose get on his way. So this one's from Pudge Richardson. Who would you trade for Brendan Donovan? I imagine a trade for a player like him within the division would be pricey.
I honestly wouldn't trade for Brendan Donovan, to be honest. I just hate the idea of trading within the division, and especially with a team like the Cardinals that is they're kind of in, I don't want to say like the same spot as the Pirates, but similar in the sense that they're looking to trade off major league talent, maybe get some prospects, maybe get additional major league talent in return. I don't know if I'm the Pirates, I don't know if I want to help their cause.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, a guy like Brendan Donovan can really do so much, I feel like, for not just your lineup, but defensively as well. So I would assume that the price tag on him is pretty decent. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think it's going to probably take more than you would want to give up. But I think he brings a lot to the table too.
Yeah.
I mean, the bat's there, but he also strikes me as a guy where, like, he's just got that Cardinals devil magic happening right now. And as soon as you take him off that team, he's just not going to be who he is. So yeah.
Maybe just let him trade him to somebody else, I guess. That might help the Pirates more than anything else.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, Jose, hey, I appreciate you hopping on here. Look at the last day here. I think you fly out later today, right?
Out later tonight.
Yeah. So it was nice seeing you.
Yeah, great to see you guys.
Thanks for hopping on. And where can everybody find your stuff?
Go check us out over at DK Pittsburgh Sports, our site and our app. We got you covered on Pirates. We got you covered on Penguins, Steelers. So go check us out.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's all we got for you. We're gonna have another one of these later today, plus NS9 Live tonight. Roll 5 draft also in about an hour. So there'll be some news here shortly on whether the Pirates are adding another player to their roster or not. But outside that, we'll see you guys. Hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you later. All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.